and we will start the lesson. So welcome everybody. Some people still may join, but we will not go back. We will actually officially start the lesson right now. It's 7:05 p.m. My name is Arthur. I'm senior software QA lead at Allergan Data Labs, and also I'm QA teacher at TechStart. And we are conducting this free course once in 3 months, just to give people an overview. What is the QA profession? To give a couple lessons in coding basics for people to try code, actually, to learn the code and actually try test automation, not manually test, but actually write the code that will test the application. And also to give job market overview right now, to actually explore how many jobs on the market, on IT market right now, and what is your chances of getting job if you consider this job as your future, right? Everybody wants to get a tech job because, of course, tech jobs are highly paid jobs. And even if you start as a manual tester after just couple months of training, probably the minimum what you get is like 70K per year. It's the minimum. But obviously, medium salary for manual testers is about 100K. So actually, and most of the jobs are remote right now, right? 2 years ago, when we were educating people 2 years ago before COVID, most of the jobs were like on site. So basically, you were limited by your city. If in your city there are just 5 open positions, that's it. You are limited by 5 open positions. And if there are other people looking for the jobs and they get those positions, that's it. There is no job for you, and you have to wait, or you have to consider relocation to other cities. That's what I did in the past as well. When I was getting some cool jobs, I was actually relocating to other cities and live there because previously remote jobs were like super rare, and where people were asking about them, it was super rare. Right now, everybody works remotely, especially in IT field, and many companies, they just fully switch to remote, and they are not even hiring people locally. They just tend to look for people everywhere across the United States. So which is super great because we have more jobs to apply for, and I will show you the quantity later. Okay, so just to I will be sharing my screen right now. We'll show you some quick overview of the course, quick presentation. And of course, this course is not only for me to talk about something. This course, these lessons are also for you to ask questions, because I know that many of you had many questions. Some people were reaching out to me directly, and I told everybody, hey, join the course. And whenever you have a question, whatever question you have, just feel free to ask me. So if you have any specific questions, guys, feel free to stop me. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself, turn your microphone on, and feel free to ask me any question. Because this is all about you. This course is about you asking questions, learning the profession. And again, learning is always asking questions. So do not hesitate. Feel free to stop me at any point and just ask me any question you want. Okay, before we start, does anybody have any question? Okay. Seems like nobody has any questions so far. So let me share my screen, guys, and show you the quick presentation, quick overview of the course. And then we will switch to the application we're going to actually test. And I will show you what QA means and how it works. Okay, are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Good. Awesome.
Yes.
So let me start the slideshow. Okay, sounds great. So goals of this course. So again, I will repeat myself. So the goal is for you to try yourself in a role of engineer on a project. So we will have a small project, and you will be doing requirements overview and working with business analyst to finalize the requirements for the software application. Then you will be creating the test cases to test the application. And this will be covered today. Next lesson, next week, before next week, actually, we have to complete all of that. And then Next week, we will actually start testing the application and reporting software bugs to the system to let developers fix them. So basically, this is what software testers do. And you will be trying yourself in that role on our small project. Also, so you will be working with software requirements, you will be planning testing, you will test the web application and report software bugs. This is what will be covered in QA part of the course. Also, you'll be learning coding basics. You will have 2 lessons in coding, and this is just to prepare you. So first of all, this is for you to try coding, because what we do, we never let people learn QA only. So even our main courses, on our paid courses, there are 2 parallel courses that people take. One course is QA, and the second course that goes in parallel is coding basics. So people learn how to code as well. So by the end of the QA manual course, they already know how to code, and they make a decision whether stop and just find for manual testing job, or move forward and learn something like software development if they like coding, or test automation, right? So that's what we believe in. We also teach people code in parallel, not just manual testing like others do. We also teach people how to code, so they learn everything and they have more knowledge, and they can make a decision. Maybe they like coding more. And that's all. Like if people take manual course, the coding is free for them. They don't pay for that separately. Okay, and we will be actually also building your first test automation framework. And the reason is, previously, like many years ago, test automation was very complex because people were building their own custom solutions. So everything from scratch. At this moment, the tools, the coding is so developed, so you never create something from scratch. There are already solutions and modules created by other developers. So basically, what coding means today is basically you take the other pieces, other modules, and just combine them together into the application. Let's say you are building your application, you have your startup, and you want to integrate Google Maps. You don't build that from scratch. There are already like modules that allow you to just install them and integrate Google Maps into your application. So you actually reuse somebody else's solution that are already there. You don't have to create that from scratch. So test automation right now, same thing. There are already test automation frameworks that you just install, configure according to simple guide, and that's it. They work. You just tell it, oh, click this element, then enter text into this element, then click this button, and etc. It just simulates your action. So test automation is very simple right now as well. And our goal will be to show you that, so you will build your test automation framework and you will have your first automated test running on your computer. That will be the idea. Yeah, and we will be also having the job market overview. I will tell you about resume creation, about interview, how that process actually takes place right now, how many jobs on the market, some ideas, some secrets and tips about the resume, interview, and the job search as well. And also you will be able to meet me, other team members, because we have different teachers for manual, for coding, for test automation. You will meet them as well. You will try our teaching approach, because this small course is pretty much small piece of our main course, right? So it looks the same. Feel free, feel like home. And yeah, and also we get bonuses to people. So basically, people who will graduate from this course and they think, okay, this is profession I would like to learn. I would love to move forward and actually learn the profession, take the main course, which is 3 months at least. And so we will give bonuses to those people who will actually actively participate in this small course. So this will take 3 weeks. This course will take 3 weeks, and I will get back to that soon. Okay, so this is me. My name is Arthur. I'm Senior QA Lead at Allergen Data Labs. I will be your quality assurance teacher, which is QA or testing, quality assurance. This is the main topic. This is the simplest tech job that you can get. And I will be conducting these lessons for you, and I will be the one managing your project, small project. Also, you will meet Stan. I believe the next lesson is tomorrow. You will meet Stan. He's senior software development engineer This is means as that means software development engineer in test. So basically, it's automation tester. He's automation tester at Apple, and he will be actually your teacher for coding lessons. And also, you will meet Sergey. He's senior software engineer at HP. He's actually a developer. He's not automation, he's a developer, but he will be your test automation teacher. And then I will be, again, your teacher and your mentor for the lesson about job market overview and resume and interview tips. That will be me. Okay, let's move forward. So this is how our course will look like. So today we have manual QA, manual quality assurance. What manual means actually? Manual is when you test manually, you don't use code. Basically, you have the applications on your phone, right? And every application, when it's getting created, it's getting developed by engineers. They have requirements, right? So people write requirements. Okay, first of all, when user click the on application icon, it opens, and they should see the home page, right? So basically, your goal as a manual tester, click on it, right? And make sure that it opens and you see the home page, right? And then requirement says, okay, there should be email field, password field, and login button, right? And you check, there is email field, there is password field, and login button. So basically, you just manually, right, without using code, you manually check that your application works according to the requirements. That's what manual quality assurance means. And automation means that you will write code that will do the same. Basically, open, check that the page is open, check that this field present, check that this button is present. Same thing that many people manually do, but using the code that does the same. This is what automation testing means, right? So manual is obviously easier, right? Because anybody, even grandma, can do manual testing, right? Open the application, follow the guide. Guide says, okay, it should be homepage. The first page that you see, you just click it. If there is a home page, that's good. If there is no home page or another page opens, that means you found a software bug. When there is a difference between what we expect and what we actually see in the application. So basically, this is what manual people do. They check the applications on phone, in the browser, on the computer, whatever the application you are testing in your company. You just check that it works according to the requirements. That's basically what manual testing means. So the first week you will have manual QA, which is me. Also, you will have coding basics with Stan. Next week you will have another lesson of manual QA and coding basics, and in between you will have project assignments. So lesson doesn't mean that that's it, lesson and nothing else. No. So lesson is just to introduce something to you, and then you will have project assignments that you will have to complete by the next lesson. And I will explain you that further. Because how our work looks like right now, guys. So basically, I log into my computer in the morning. I have a stand-up meeting, which is just a video call like we're talking right now. Everybody just discuss what they're working on today, what they worked on yesterday, and whether they complete that item or not, right? And then we just, the video call is ended, and we just heads down and work on the items that we have. Same here. So basically, the video call is just the meeting that we meet and discuss what we work on, and then the rest of the time is just project time that you work on the project. This is basically how remote work looks like right now. You just sit next to the computer and just complete your project assignments, whatever you need to do. Okay, so the next lesson will be manual key again, and then coding basics. And the third week, you will have actually test automation first, and then job market overview will be the last lesson. So I believe it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Tuesday as well. And this probably will be Thursday, because I'm not available on Wednesday because I have another group on Wednesday. So probably this will be moved to Thursday. So will be the schedule of the free course that you are taking. So our goal will be in those two lessons. Lesson number 1, to actually learn how to work with the requirements, basically the instructions for the application, right? And actually how to create test plan, how to actually create a list of test cases to cover the application by the test cases, and actually start prepare them, right? The next lesson will be actually to execute them, to actually go over the list of test cases that you will have and report software bugs that you will find in the application. And coding basics will be actually to give you an idea what coding means, to learn CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, and prepare you a little bit for test automation. So when you actually go here to week number 3, you know something about coding and you're ready to actually for the test automation lesson. Yeah, so this is basically the practice course, and job market overview will be the last lesson, just to give you an idea how job market looks like right now, how many jobs out there on the market, and how to actually easy or hard to get a job, and what are the resume creation and interview tips. So that's basically how the course will look like. Any questions so far? Good. I love it. Seems like everything is clear. But remember, feel free to stop me. I'm here just to help you. Okay. So basically, as I mentioned, this is what software testers do actually, right? Before the user, when you get the application, like let's say Instagram, right? Everybody uses Instagram. Before the application were created, it took some time for the software developers, for the software development team to prepare the first version of the application that can be released to users. So when you got it, when you got the first version of the Instagram, it was very simple. Remember, if somebody remembers that, it was very simple. It's not even close to what you have right now. It was super, super simple. You were able just to, have your profile with your photos, and that's pretty much it. No stories, no other functionalities that you have right now. It was very, very super simple. But even to do that, it took some time for developers to create that, because you had to create login page, then your feed page, then your profile settings page, and everything else. Just basic functionality that can be delivered to a user to completely use the application, right? And that was done by software development team in Instagram, inside Instagram, right? That was a startup initially, and there were business analysts. So business analysts are people who create the requirements, right? There are some high-level requirements. They usually come from founders of the application, from senior executive directors. They define like general requirements, right? We want to have such page. And then business analyst is the person who actually goes into details. Hey, this is how this should look like. According to new trends, this is how our login page should look like. So goes into details and describes the requirements in details, and works with design team to actually create design specifications, like design examples of how the application will look like, and actually present all of that to developers at the end. So developers, they get like manual. So requirements is basically manual. Like when you buy a new phone or new, I don't know, refrigerator or a new TV or anything, you have a manual along with it. Usually in the box, you have a manual that describes how everything works. What happens if you click that button? What happens if you click that button? So the requirements is basically a manual, but it's not created for the end users. It's created for developers to let them know what to develop. So the requirements, they come first. So at this point, when you have the requirements, there is no application yet, because developers will take those and will create the application based on what they understand from the requirements, right? So what we use as a testers, what we use the requirements for, we actually read them and try to understand how the application will work and make sure that they are clear. Because if we are not able to understand the requirements, developers probably are not able to understand them too, right? So what happens if they don't understand? They will not create the best version of the application. They will make mistakes, right? And we will have problems with the application. It will not have a high quality. So that's why what we do, we read the requirements, try to understand them, and ask questions. Ask questions, and as a business analyst, we actually clarify something to describe it better, so we have full and clear understanding what we're going to develop. That's basically it. That's our goal at this stage. So we just come to the company, read the manual for the application that is going to be created, and just try to understand it. And if something is not clear, we ask questions in order to clarify everything. And this is really something important to understand, because most of people I personally meet, most of people I work with, they don't understand how important it is. So this is my secret. This is my secret I just tell to you. So this is very important. This is very important stage, because basically it may look very simple for you, right? What is that? Right? Reading the requirements. Very simple. You just need to read something. It's not that important, right? And some people even say, yeah, we can skip that. But just think logically. So what if they are not clear? As I mentioned already, if they are not clear, like couple developers, let's say 5 or 10 developers, will be reading those requirements and they won't be able to understand them fully. That means they will interpret the requirements differently, and they will make mistakes, right? So what you will have to find those problems, report them. So you will have to spend some time doing that. And then developers, they will have to actually fix those problems, and they also will have to spend time, right? And just imagine that it will take 30 minutes for you to find one problem, then maybe 15 more minutes to report it. Then for developer is maybe like an hour to investigate that, and then maybe 30 minutes to fix it. And then for you, 30 more minutes to actually check that again and make sure that it's fixed and not reproduced anymore. So just imagine how much time you just wasted and how many people were involved in that just because of one single problem. And you will have like hundreds of them. So just imagine you may have hundreds of problems in 1 month. So in 1 month, you just waste a huge amount of time spent by developers, by you, just to fix those problems, and just so inefficient and just waste of money and time for the company. So your work is actually avoid that, prevent problems. So that's exactly why you work on the requirements. You just want to read them, and not just to read them, but also understand. So you have complete understanding how it's going to work. And if something is not clear, you go and ask questions. You go to that person, to business analyst, and ask questions. So they give you an answer, and they also improve the requirements. They describe that better. They update the statements. So you and developers will have better understanding. So that's your goal. You basically read the requirements and just make sure that they are fully understandable for you. That's your first step in software development lifecycle. Then the next step, once the requirements are fully understandable for you, now you say, okay, I know how it's going to work. Now you try to cover that by test cases, right? So basically, you just go over the requirements and create a test case, like a check for each of them. For example, okay, when you click the application, again, remember the application, what you should see first is the homepage. That's basically your first test case. When you open the app, you see the homepage. That's the first test case. Then, okay, on the homepage, email field should be displayed, right? So basically, your requirements, they may say on the homepage, there will be 3 elements: email, password, and login button, right? But for you, you have to break that down to separate verification. So you say, okay, on the homepage, you see email field, one test case. On the homepage, you see password field, another test case. On the homepage, you see login button, the third test case. And that's how you do. That's basically it. That's how easy it is. Okay, then once you're done with the test planning, remember, in parallel, when you work on the test planning, developers, they create the application. They also took the requirements and they start coding. So usually by the time when you're done with your test cases, when your test plan, they are done with the application, right? At some point with the new version of the code, or the first version of the code. Maybe you didn't have anything, and that will be just the first version of the application that you're testing. So by the time they are done, you're done with your test planning. So what you do, you actually take the first version of the application, they give it to you. Okay, this is the first version of our application. They give it to you, you install it on your phone, or maybe you test it in the web browser, whatever you have, because there can be mobile applications you're testing, there can be web applications or desktop applications that you're testing. So it depends on the company and their product, but basically the approach is the same. You open that first version, open your test plan, and say, okay, when I open the application, the first page is a home page. Okay, you open the application and see, is that a home page? Okay, yes, it's a home page. So you mark it as a pass, check mark. So you go to the next one. Okay, I should see email field. You see, okay, is there email field? Yes, there is email field. So you mark it as pass. Go to the next one. There should be a password field. Do I see password field? Yes, you mark it as pass. Do I see login button? Oh, there is no login button. Then you go to the next step. When there is something not according to the requirements, you go and report a software bug, and developers will have to fix it. That's pretty much it. And then once that bug is fixed, you actually go and check that it's really fixed. So you will actually go and check, okay, is login button is already there? Yes, it's already there. Bug was fixed. So you actually execute all of the test cases. You report all the problems that you found. Then developers, they fix those problems. And then you check that they were fixed. If all of that is done, so the first version of the application is ready. And you go to the next cycle. So the next cycle will be, okay, let's add another page. So actually, we work in such iterations, right? We take a small piece of the application, develop it. Then take a small piece of the application, develop it. So let's say in the first iteration, we will develop homepage, all the elements and functionality of the homepage. In the next iteration, we will develop my account page and all the settings. In the third iteration, we will develop feed and ability to upload photos, right? And that's it. In 3 iterations, we will have the first working version of the application that we can deliver to the real customers. So that's how we work at tech right now. So basically, this is what we do. We take small piece of the requirements, small piece of the application, and just try to achieve it in 2 weeks. Usually this cycle in most of the companies, it takes 2 weeks to work on the requirements, to plan and develop at the same moment, right? Because this is the actions for testers, but developers, they work in parallel with us, actually. When we are test planning, they are developing at the same time. So when we start testing and reporting bugs, they start fixing them. So they work on them as well, and we work together closely, and they fix, you check if they are fixed. Then if everything is fixed and everything is verified, we just release a new version and go to the next iteration, work a new piece of the requirements. And that's actually how Instagram and how other applications on your phone and your computer are getting developed, right? You see that you are getting updates. So those updates are actually developed in such cycles. So let's say requirements sometimes is not to develop something new, but to improve or update something old. Let's say we developed that old version of the Instagram, but at some point we have an idea to add stories, right? There were no stories in the past, but at some point they were introduced, right? So we have requirements. Let's have a top bar. There will be stories of your friends and your stories, right, in Instagram. So there will be the design specifications, design examples, how it will look like. There will be description, what happens if you click it, and etc. Right? So all of that will be described in the requirements. And your goal will be just to test it. Just follow the requirements, create test cases, and just go over the test cases, test it, catch bugs, make sure that they are fixed. And once you do that in one cycle, that's it. You click the button, and that feature flies to the real users. At some point, they see, okay, my Instagram was updated, and I got new version, and now I have stories in my Instagram, right? So you can see how your applications, they get updates, And there are a list of fixes or improvements or new features that were introduced. And that's basically what happens in one cycle. We just actually develop new version of the application with fixes, with improvements, with new functionalities that were never there before, and etc. That's basically how it works. Any questions so far? Okay, seems like everything's clear. Let me quickly check. Okay, people are here. I don't see any hands raised. Good. So I hope everything is clear. But feel free to stop me if something is not. Okay, so let's pass this and let me give you an example. So again, so let's imagine we have the requirements. This is just a very simple example of the requirements. So let's imagine that we have this form, right? We have this form. And as a part of the requirements, so the requirements are bigger. They will actually describe the entire page and etc. But let's say I took just two of them describing the login button. So login button should be displayed below the login form, right? So this is one the requirement. And the button is blue, right? So those are two. And there will be another requirement about the color of the text, about the size of the text, and etc. Right? But I just took those two, just an example. So we have two requirements. So login button should be displayed below the form, and it should be blue, right? So those are the requirements. Seems like they're clear, so we don't have any questions about them, and we move forward, right? So we actually go and create test cases. And basically, this is how they look like. Login button displayed below the login form. And it will be either check if it's displayed like that or fail if it's not like that, right? And login button should be blue. Those are the test cases, basically. This is what we do, right? This is how you cover the requirements by test cases. And then developers give you the first version of the application. And you start executing your test cases. So you say, okay, here's the application. Here are my test cases. Okay, login button displayed below the login form. It is, so you mark it as pass, check mark. Then you go to the next one. Login button is blue. And basically it's not. And you can, so this is the actual application that developers gave you. And this is what you have in the requirements. This is just a screenshot, the design example from the requirements, right? And this is what developers gave you. So you open it on your phone and you see, okay, it's not blue, it's red. So you mark it as X, which is failed. Your test case failed. And you go and report bug, which is actual result. Login button is red, and expected login button is blue. That's basically it. So developers, they get this problem. They actually go and fix it, and they give you the other version of the application. You read it, you install the version of the application. You open it and see, okay, and you go over this bug. So it was red, it should be blue. You check it, now it's blue. So if it's blue, it was fixed. You close this bug, and it's closed. It's fixed. Good. And you will have, usually during the cycle, you have like multiple bugs. You have like 20 bugs. You have 10 bugs, 20 bugs, etc. It depends on the size of the application, size of the team, how many people you have in your team, and etc. Right? So it can be different quantity, but your goal is to report all of them, and you actually make sure that they are fixed, and that's it. You go to another iteration. So you actually have the first version of the application that fully corresponds to the requirements, because your end goal is to make sure that what we have in the requirements and what we will see in the application is absolutely the same. It's matching. So this is basically your goal, right? So this is basically how QA looks like. Okay. Is this clear? Good. Okay, so that's it. Oh, this is just slides about the main course, but I will show them to you later. Okay, I see some hands raised. Okay, Tina, go ahead. Do you have any question? Yeah, go. Feel free to unmute yourself and let me see. I see that you raised your hand. Do you click the? So if you click this button, do you see this button? This is raising a hand. Woo! That means you want to say something. That's why I asked you, hey, Tina, do you want to say?
Hi, I wrote messages.
You sent them something in the messages. Okay. So I actually
Yes.
see Daniel is asking something, was asking something in the messages. So let me see. Hello, my name is Daniel. I have a question. Where I can download the presentation? Okay, this is a good question. And so most of you have registered on our platform. If you are not, this is the link, guys, to the platform. Let me send it to the chat. So this is the platform. Yeah. So our platform, it was actually developed by us. This is the code, the application created by us. Same approach, requirements, then developers actually created the application, then we tested it. So actually the application created by us. So me, Stan, Sergey, this is all us. So this is the application we created. This is our platform. And basically, this is just a platform to manage courses and students, right? This is what we do. So if you register, so what you will need to do, let me actually try to log out. So basically what you need to do is click create one because you don't have an account. If you do have, you already registered. If you're not, then you create an account. You create an account, you provide your data over here, click this and register. Then once you register, you will be automatically signed in and you will see this homepage. So the homepage will actually give you some information. So actually, it will be shown for all the new students. You will see this page, right? So actually, this is the courses page. So if you go to courses, there you will see a list of courses. So actually, it depends. So basically, what you have right now is only this course. This is free course that you are attending right now, and it's empty. But there will be some lessons over here after today's lesson. So presentation, video, homework, everything will be here. So actually, let me log out and show you how it will look like. So courses. So I have a lot of courses. So let's give an example. So this is how basically every course looks like, right? So there is a list of lessons, and all the lessons are recorded, right? So there is a video, there is a slides, homework. Some of them have even more because sometimes there are some additional materials to work on, right? Some reading and etc. So basically everything will be here. Everything will be on the platform. So go ahead and register on the platform. You will automatically get an access to this course. Let me log out again, back, log in as a test user. So basically, this is what you will see. You go to courses, you will see this free course. If you take other courses in our school, you will have more courses over here. You will have all the courses you have. Basically, right now, you have only free course. You will get an access to it automatically once you register, right? You click it, and there will be a list of lessons over here once we add today's one. Because basically what happens, I will, at the end of the lesson, I will stop the recording. The video will be generated, uploaded, then and we will add the lesson here. So you will see the video link over here. You will have the lesson listed here. You can expand it. There will be video. There will be homework. There will be slides as well. You will have everything that you need in here, in um, in the platform. Yeah. So go ahead and register on the platform. Also, in tech industry, like 99% of the companies, they use Slack as a messenger, as a work messenger that they use for communication, right? So all the companies I worked for the past like 7 years, they all use Slack. I remember the times when companies were using Skype, but after some point, they just everybody switched to Slack. So basically, this is just a messenger, standard messenger that you can have private messages with people, and you can have groups, right? You can have groups. So basically, that's everybody on the market uses right now, with some exceptions. That's what I said. 99% of the companies, because for example, it's in some restricted companies like Apple. I used to work at Apple, where Stan works right now. So it's restricted there. They don't use Slack. They use some internal messenger that is fully secured to Apple only. So now nothing goes out, right? No information about some secret projects, about new devices goes out. That's their, like, you know, lifestyle at Apple. So they have their own messenger, but most of the other companies, they use Slack. So everybody uses Slack as a messenger tool. So this is another thing that you need to do. Click our Slack. So this is the registration link. So basically what you will need to do is register in Slack, download the application. I have it on my phone and I have it on my computer. And you go to Slack, and there is, you will see announcement channel, right? And then you click on free 10 and you join free 10 course. This is the Slack that you can actually, this is how it usually, what happens on your work. There is a channel for QA team, channel for development team. There are channels for BA's team. There are some combined channels and etc. Right? Alech just sent a plus over here, so he's here. Yeah, good, Alech. Good job. So yeah, this is how Messenger looks like, and I'm actually asking you to join Slack because this is our main messenger. We post all the announcements here. Free 10 channel will have all the announcements about the course, about everything you need. You can ask questions here. This is the best way to contact me, for example, right? You don't have to send me an email. You don't have to, for example, if you're on the platform, there is no way for you to reach out to me, right? You have to send email or find me in anywhere. But Slack is everywhere. Where is everywhere? Everybody. I'm sorry. Where is everybody? Right. So the entire team will be here. So I see 62 people here, but I know that like over 100 people registered for the course. So actually, basically, we're missing more than 40 people here. So yeah, so this is the next step, and everything is listed here. So courses page will have all the courses that you need, and there will be lessons inside. Then Slack is our messenger, and all the communication, all the questions, everything should be here. As you can see, some people are already asking questions here. I'm replying. As you can see, this is how it happens, right? People asking questions, replying to questions. Let me give an example. For example, this is how the regular chat looks like. People are posting that something is happening, asking for help. Yeah, this is how it works in all the companies and everywhere, right? Hey, I'm working on this. I'm working on this. This is how it works. Yeah, we are posting jobs. And sorry, Andre, but we don't post anything here. In the jobs, we usually post some jobs. We don't ask questions here. So if you want to ask questions, there is a random chat. You can post anything here, any funny images, jokes, and etc. And free is everything, everything about the course. How much time usually lesson take? Usually lessons take from 1 to 2 hours, and actually it really depends on how we do well or not today. And I will probably think that it will take maybe 40 more minutes for us, maybe quicker, maybe a bit longer. So usually from 1 to 2 hours. One lesson takes from 1 to 2 hours. Okay, so this is the next step. And the third step is whatever you already did is joining the lesson. So this is the link to this call, right? So to this call, to join this call. But basically, two things that you need to do: register on the platform and join Slack. That's it. And then you will have everything you need. Because if you want to ask questions, this is the best place. Because if there is no call, right, you are able to ask questions right now in the call, in this message, in these messages. But if we end the call, there is no place to ask questions. So this is the place to ask any question, to do whatever you want, right? This is our course chat. Okay, and how to join it again? If you join our Slack, you go to announcements, and you will see a lot of messages about, hey, join this channel, join this channel. Sometimes you will see that we post that somebody found a job. We congratulate those people and etc. So this is what you also can see here. Okay, that's pretty much it. So this is another thing. So hope I answered your question. Next question: are we supposed to fix the bugs or only find them? No. You, as a testers, we find them. Developers, people who code, right? They actually create the application, they create those pages, those elements, and they fix the problems. Your goal is just to report. You report, you assign to developer, and developer see in the system, and they fix it. So just to give you an example, so this is how our project looks like. This is what we do on the main course. This is not the test course that we're going to do, but this is how the main course looks like. So let me give you an example. So let me give, for example, so there is some functionality that we are developing, for example, right? Let's say this is the functionality we are developing. Let's say this is the homepage. This is called the homepage. So when I actually found the problem, I create a bug and some test description, right? And I have to provide some information, actual result, expected result, and then I assign it to a developer. Let's see, myself as a developer. You assign it, and developer sees there is a bug reported by somebody. And if you open it, you will see who was the reporter. Actually, I was the reporter by, that's okay. Let's assign to somebody else. Sergey, for example, Sergey will be the developer. I will be tester. So I am a reporter. I reported this bug, provided steps to reproduce actual result, expected result, and assigned to Sergey. So Sergey will get email notification saying that Arthur created a bug report and it's assigned to you. And he will come to this board in the system, and then we'll move it to active and start fixing. Once that bug will be fixed, he will move it to ready for QA and reassign back to me. And then I will get an email saying that Sergey has fixed that bug and you can test it. And I will go and test it. And if it's not reproduced, it's fixed, I will move it to done. It means that bug was fixed. And our goal is to get everything this clears. So this is how the project looks like. And unfortunately, this is very expensive system, and we use it because this is the system that real companies are using. And we use this for the main course. We don't use it for the free course because it's too expensive to like add hundreds of people to it. So we will like use a workaround. But this is basically how the work looks like. So developers fix bugs. You report them. Your goal is to, again, read the requirements, right? Create your test plan, open the application and test it. Okay, the homepage, this element is present, that element is present. Okay, this element is not present. Okay, so I found the bug. And you go and report it. You create a bug report. And developers will pick that up, fix it, and you will just make sure that it was fixed. This is your goal. But you are not fixing. You are not writing the code. Developer will fix the code and will give you the new version of the application with fixes. And basically, you will fix it. You will just make sure that it's fixed. That's how it works. Okay, any other questions? I see Alexandra raised a hand. Do you have any questions? Go ahead, Alexandra. I see that you're raising the hand. Or do you want to ask something? Oh, seems like you are not talking. Nadia, do you want to ask something as well?
Yes, we can use other platforms, seems like Jira or something else.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah. So basically, there are a lot of systems around. So there is Jira, Trello, Azure DevOps. There are a lot of systems to track bugs. We personally use Azure DevOps, and the reason is very simple. So basically, when you use Jira for bug reporting, you use Confluence for documentation, but there is no code repository in Jira. You have to use GitHub, for example, right, to store your code. Then in order to have pipelines and automate your processes, you need to use something like Circle CI or Jenkins or something like that, and etc. In order to get servers, you use some AWS, Amazon Web Services. So you have to have a lot of systems. And Azure DevOps have everything in one place. That's exactly why we use Azure DevOps. It has bug tracking, documentation, task cases, repository, continuous integration pipelines, all the automation processes, everything in one single place. So you have one login and one password, and that's it. You don't have to log in different places and actually somehow synchronize them. That's exactly why we use Azure DevOps. But yes, there are different systems. For example, the current company I work for uses Jira for bug tracking systems and use GitHub for storing the code. Yeah. Yep. That's correct. So there are different systems on the market. But basically, it's not the main skill. So nobody cares, for example, if you used Jira in your career, but then you come to the company and they use Azure DevOps, nobody will actually reject you based on that, because it doesn't matter. People looking for your skills, like understanding why you work on the requirements, understanding how to create test cases, and nobody cares where you create it. So system that you use is not important, because this is what happens. Sometimes you are a developer, you work for a specific company, and they use those tools, specific tools. You go and look for another job in another company, they use absolutely different tools, because somebody made a decision in the past when the company was created. So basically, nobody can reject you based on that, because you have skills to do the job, and the tools is just something that you will learn like this, and that's it. Okay, so basically, that doesn't matter. The tools doesn't matter. It really, what matters is your skills, how to do the job, not where to do the job, but how to do the job. That is important. Okay. Any other questions before I go to the real requirements? Okay, no questions. Good. So let me open. This is your project assignments, guys, that will be here. And the first thing that you need to do is you will actually read the requirements, right? So I prepared a couple slides with the project assignments, what you need to do at home after the lesson. So we have the requirements. We have this application, and here are the requirements. So how can I read this? Mode viewing. Okay, so this is the view. So these are the requirements for the application that we are going to develop. So basically, I will be playing the role of business analyst. I will be your business analyst. So I'm the person responsible for the requirements. I am the one who created them, and your goal will be to read them, make sure you understand everything. In case if you have any questions, you see some contradictions, some incompleteness, something is unclear, not matching, you report all of that to me. That's basically what we're going to do. Yeah, so let me just go give you an overview what we're going to develop. So basically, this is the application. This is one-page application that will be opened in the browser, and it will be opened on iPads in the clinic. So actually, this is the application for the clinic, for small clinics, right? Because big clinics like Kaiser, they have their own system. But small clinics, they usually don't have any system to control the line, of people who come for the, for example, vaccination, or any other line, for example, line to get the medicine or something like that. So to control the line. So will be the application to control the line for people coming for the vaccinations, but maybe in the future we will actually change it to random line. Yeah, and it will be just on the stand and on the iPad. So that's the but it will be actually open in the browser. It's not mobile application. So people who work in the clinic, they actually will open this application in the web browser, and it will be just displayed on the screen. So this is basically a web application that you will be able to test on your computer. But at the end, it will be actually displayed on the iPad screen. So functional requirements. So basically, when you open the application, you will see such 4 sections, right? You will see such text, show that how many people in the line. You will see the image, just a standard image created by our designers. You will see the table with all these people in the line, and get in line button for people who just came to actually join the line, to be the last person in the line. So that's pretty much that we have. Once you click this button, you will see such form where you provide your first name, last name, your birthday, and select the vaccine, right? And then you click either cancel and you close this, or you click submit, and you submit and join the line, and this window is getting closed. Okay, this is just the functionality for the calendar described here. This is what happens if you don't specify those. They will be highlighted. Yes, and if you click it, it will show you this ID and close button. So you close it, and you see your ID. And actually, then you will see just yourself at the bottom of this page with that ID that is displayed over here. So actually close and this ID will be displayed at the bottom over here. So you will see ID over here and close button instead of submit. So that's basically how it works. That's pretty much it. Of course, you see that it's long document because it has a lot of details, a lot of other things that I will go over. But this is basically the overview. And now this is your goal. Your goal will be to read it actually in detail and find something that is unclear for you. And I have some examples of the problems here that you will actually probably face. So for example, I start reading. After navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. So okay, 4 sections. So I have the quantity 4. Then I see 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's the first actually contradiction, I would say, right? Or incompleteness. One section is actually missing over here. So 4 sections, image, I see image table, and okay, so this part is missing, right? This part is not described here, but I clearly see it on the design example. So actually, this is something I will actually ask the business analyst about. And I have a form for you, and actually here's the feedback form. So it really up to you how to actually use it. You can list all many questions here and submit the form at the end. Or submit the form at the end, or you can list one question and submit it, then list another question and submit it, then another question and submit it. So it's up to you. I'm not limiting you, but what I would do, for example, in this case, so I have this, and I would say I will just copy paste this. I will paste it over here in this feedback form. Why I'm using the feedback form? This is actually the first time I actually created this feedback form, and to be honest, I created this form an hour ago, just before the lesson. And the reason is very simple. What we used to do before, we used to work in this document together, but it was a little bit messy. The reason is, for example, usually once if you work in the team, you work together on this document, and somebody finds the problem. Those people add comments, select the text, for example, add comment, like this is a contradiction, right? But the problem with this was, so everybody sees this comment. So other people who actually participated in the course, they were able just to see all of those comments, and they didn't have to do anything because they just saw the comments and that's it. Maybe they would actually miss the problem, but they were not missing because somebody else already found it, right? So that's why I'm trying to move from this approach. So you will have individual work and you will actually submit your individual feedback. So everybody who will see this problem will actually submit this problem to me, like, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. For example, this is an example of how I would do this. So this is the requirement. I would say this is a fiction. One section is not described, but present on the design. Right? Something like that. And I submit it. Then submit another response, and I can submit something else. Right? So that's what I basically would be doing. I just wanted to tell you something, just completely forgot, just had it top of my mind. And this is basically what you do. This is your job, right? You go over the requirements, and your goal for the business analyst to get the feedback and then fix it. So what are we going to do? You're going to read the requirements, find problems, or some incompleteness or ambiguities or contradictions or something you are not sure about, you would like to clarify, you go and ask, you provide a feedback. You copy the code, you write that by text, whatever you want. It's absolutely up to you. There is no requirements for how you actually provide feedback. It's absolutely up to you, just best of your knowledge, how to actually describe the problem you're seeing and what you would like to fix, right? And your goal is to get all of that fixed and have the complete version of the requirements by some day. So what I would suggest, probably let's do the following. So you provide the feedback till Friday. On Friday, I will fix all the problems in the requirements according to your feedback. And on Friday night, you will have the final version of the requirement. So actually what you will have here is the final version that will be completely understandable according to your feedback, fixed, and they will be ready for the test cases. So Friday night, you will be able to actually go and start working on your test cases, because second part of your homework will be test cases, test planning. And we will do that as well today. So I will just show you what to do. And those will be two first steps in the manual QA work. So basically, this is what we do. When there is a new version of the requirements, we as a testers go through them, try to understand them, and just make sure that they are fully understandable for us as well as for developers. We just do that job for developers as well. Because once we make them fully understandable and complete, that means higher quality of the code will be achieved, because developers will understand them better and they will make less mistakes, so less bugs, less time spent for reporting them, finding them, fixing them, and etc. That's exactly the reason why we work in the requirements. So we have better understanding, developers have better understanding, we create great test cases, they create great code, we have less bugs, we quickly test it, say, okay, it's ready, and go to the next piece of the requirements, because let's say we cover this in the first iteration. In the next iteration, maybe we want to get rid of vaccination, we would like to make it more general. So it's used not only for vaccination, but maybe it's used for getting the medicine in the pharmacy, for example, right? So we will actually create an updated version of this page of this application. We will have some requirements to add something or change something in the existing application. And that's it. There will be a next cycle, then the next cycle, then the next cycle. And every cycle will be the same. Read the requirements, make sure you don't have any questions, they are fully understandable, then create your test cases, then go and test the application once it's ready. And this application will be ready next week. So once you, again, remember, the application is not there. Those are just the requirements for the future application. The application will be ready in the future, because developers, they will take these requirements and will create application based on them. So their basically goal will be also read this. Okay, it should be 4 sections. So developer will see it, create 4 sections, will align them accordingly so it looks like as the design, right? We'll paste the image, we'll format the text so it looks like the same as on the design, and etc. So that's what they will be doing. What you will be doing at the same time in parallel, you will be actually creating your test cases based on this, and we will go to that till that point. So basically right now I had the feedback about this. Then text area. So let's see about the text area. Located at the top left section. Okay, clear. Consists of 3 lines. I see. Okay, but it's a 1 line here. So I actually copied this. It's only 1 line mentioned in the requirements. Please clarify it. And be nice. Be nice for the business analyst, because business analyst is your friend. It's the busy person, the person who usually has to go and listen that your requirements are not ideal. Can you fix something here? So sometimes they get angry. So try to be nice to them. So that's why I use please, clarify, like be nice to them. Okay, so that's what you do. You actually read and try to understand. The text is left aligned. Okay, that means that the text is not middle aligned, not right aligned, but left aligned. And I see that on the image, it's left aligned. Good. So what X means? Number of people in the line. Okay, yeah. 3 and 3. Okay, that's what it means. So there are 3 people in the line, and it matches the table. Okay, that's what it means. That's why it's X with a star here. Okay, the image located in the top right top section. Okay, the image size is static. Okay, but what is the size? What is the size of the image? Okay, I have to ask, like exact in pixels. So the image, what is the exact size in pixels? It's unclear on the requirement. Right? Like this. Good. Image size is static, and so on. You go and just, you go and read till the end and try to understand the requirements. For example, the interesting part is table functionality. So when it's empty, when the table is empty, it has only header, right? And the table body, it says get in line to be the first, right? Just there's 0 people, so it says this text. And it's middle aligned. Okay. In case if there is from 1 to 7 patients, it displays all of them. Up to 7, not more. Up to 7. If it's more than 7 patients, like 8, 9, 10, and more, starting from 8, more than 7. So if it's 7, it displays all of them, up to 7. But if it's more than 7, like 8, for example, it displays 5, then ellipsis, and only the last one. Right? That's basically how a table behaves. So if you have a lot of people, you will never have a long table because it will not fit into the iPad window. You will have always a small table with 5 people, ellipsis, which means 3 dots, and the last person in the line. Once it gets less people, like says it becomes 7, it will again show all of them. If it has less, like 5, 4, it will show just the first 4 and 5, depends on how many we have. But if it has 8 and more, you will have only 5 ellipses and the last person in the line. Even if you have 1,000 people here, it will be the first 5 ellipses and the 1,000 record with the person name and blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much it. And the requirements about everything else is described here. So basically, your work is read the requirements from the beginning till the end. This is a first part of your homework. Try to understand how it will function, right? This is probably something to make bold, how it will function, because we don't have the applications and people get confused. So the requirements, so when you are the user, basically you have the manual with the ready application, with the ready product. But basically when you are testing, and those people who tested the application, all those applications on your phone, on your computer, they were tested. They were developed by some companies. They had requirements first. They were prepared. Test cases were prepared. They were tested. There were bugs that were fixed, and only then the application was delivered to you. So that's one thing that you need to understand. Requirements go first. There is no application. You work on the requirements just to make them clear and understandable for yourself and for developers. And then you will work on the test planning. Developers will work on the development of the new version of the application. They will basically creating the code, styling the elements, right? Making it matching the requirements in the design. And then at some point, you will be done with the test planning. They will be done with the first version of the application, and you will start testing it. So that's basically what happens. So this is one thing to understand. You try to understand the requirements and how application will work, because this is hard work, right? You have to imagine, because there is no application yet. There is nothing to open and try. There are just the designs, and these are nice designs. Sometimes they are just mock-ups. There is no image. It says placeholder here because image is still has to be approved by somebody. So at some point there is no image, there is just a square over here and just says nothing or placeholder or something like that, and it will be added later. So the process is not super clear all the times, but you still have to be creative and imagine how the application will work, right? Will look like based on what you hear and read here, read and see here. So you will read the requirements, you will take a look at the design examples, and try to imagine how the application will look like. You know, scroll up, read, scroll up, and see if it matches, if you understand that correctly, and etc. Right? Table, how it looks like. And if whatever is displayed here matches whatever you see on the screenshots, and etc. That's basically whatever you see here, how the button looks like, and whatever is described here, and etc. I can see the discrepancies already. The text is different, and color of the text is not yellow, right? So there are some differences already. Okay, yeah, and you just read and try to see if everything that you see on the design spec matching what you see here, and if everything is clear for you. Basically, if everything's super clear and you're able to test it in the future. So that's first step. You read and provide feedback in this form. So everything is in the, you will see this in the platform. Again, remember, you will go to courses, free. There will be lesson over here. Let me actually sign to my main account. So for example, like this. So there will be lesson, right? And then you will open and you will see video, you will see slides, and you will see homework. So homework will have this slide, and you will be able to actually follow it. You will open the requirements document and will read it. Then you will try to understand. And if something is not clear or whatever, you have a question, use the feedback form. Use the feedback form, you click on it, and it will be open, right? And you will get to the feedback form. That's pretty much it. That's what you do. And don't forget to join Slack to ask any other questions that you have. But in order to do that, you have to actually join the platform for sure, just to be able to access the free course, because the lessons will be here, right? As like this, right? So once we add the lesson, you will have all the information about it over here in courses and free 10. Okay, so that's how it will look like. So that's basically then test planning. This is the next step, right? That we need to do. So where is my presentation? Right, once we are done with the requirements, and that happens only after we are done. So remember what will happen. First of all, we will work on the requirements till Friday. On Friday, I will announce in the chat. On the chat, I will announce, hey guys, the requirements are done, right? The requirements are done. You can actually start working on your test cases, because it will take some time for me to read your feedbacks, to fix the requirements. So actually, we are targeting to do that on Friday. So on Friday, at some point, I will just post a message, hey guys, everything is done. You can start working on your test cases. And you can start working on your test cases. And how to work on them, I will show you right now. So that's the plan. Till Friday, requirements, feedbacks. After Friday, you can work on the test cases. Yeah. So test planning happens once you have final requirements, because it doesn't make sense to work on the test planning when something is unclear and create incorrect test cases, right? You wait till the requirements are final, and then work on the correct test plans. Okay, so how the test plans are getting created. So basically, on the main course, again, we use this in Azure DevOps. On our boards, we have specific work items that's called test plan, test cases, and we create the test cases inside, right? We have an ability to add test cases over here, right? And we have like pass fail criteria here. Just complete this as well. So that's how it looks in the real project, and that's what we do on the main course. But on the free course, we will do something similar. So I have the form for you. It's on Google Docs. And you will just make a copy of this, and we have a guide in the homework as well. So the second slide describes how to actually complete the second part. So you have a test template. This is what I will be doing right now. And you will open it. You're able to open it. Then you click File. You click File, make a copy, and it will make a copy on your Google Drive. So basically what you do, let me go back to here. You test cases by and your name. You name it as test cases by. Okay, I need to remove this. This is basically the idea. You make a copy, and it will actually create a copy of this document. And you can edit it, because you cannot edit my document. You cannot change it. You don't have rights to do that. But once you create your copy, you can edit it. You can do whatever you want with it. So that's basically the idea. Okay, so let me actually start and show you how it works. So basically, let's say that, oh man, view mode editing. So once this will be fixed, so let's say image, by navigating to the application, you can see 4 sections. Okay. Title text, the image, then table, get inline button. Okay, what else? Okay, there are, this will be fixed as well, right? This will be fixed eventually. There are X people in the line. So 3 lines, right? So this will be fixed. And once these are done, then I'm able actually to go and start working on my test cases. And your goal is just to break down. So there are no specific rules I'm giving you right now, because of course, on the main course, QA is not as simple as it may look like. I mean, like, it's not like this simple. There are some specific knowledge that you need to learn, like test design techniques and etc. Right? So there is some specific knowledge, and that's why the main course takes 3 months, because there is something to learn. But those are not the requirements for you. You have one specific requirement when creating test cases. Try to be as granular as possible, not combine a lot of the test cases into one. So try to be granular. Test one thing, cover another thing in the test case, and etc. And cover that by full sentences. So what I mean is, for example, after navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections, right? And I can say title, image, table, and get inline button. So basically, what usually people do, like you, that don't know, they actually combine all of these into one test case. But that's not incorrect, because you may have 5 sections. You may have 3 sections at the end. So basically, the first test case should be testing the quantity only, without specifying whichever section is, but testing the quantity only, right? So I will copy this. The user can see 4 sections. That will be my first test case, actually. And let me I just want to format it a little bit. Okay, after navigating to the application, user can see 4 sections. Okay, this is my first test case, right? 4 sections. I will be testing just 4 sections. I won't be checking the exact section location. I will be just checking the quantity of the sections, because this is the first requirement, 4 sections. Then I go and test C and title text. Usually what people do, they just copy and paste like this. But imagine you are the new person who joined the company. Is that clear what you're testing here? No, it's not. It's not clear at all. So if you open this document without reading the requirements, it's absolutely unclear what you're going to test here. So you have to specify the test cases using full sentences. For example, the top left section is title text. the top right section is the image, right? The oh man, where are my requirements? The bottom left section is table. The bottom left section is table, and the bottom right section is the button. Or I can copy and say get inline button, so it will be more clear. Is the get inline button. These are how the test cases will look like ideally. Of course, you're learning, so I won't be paying too much attention to your test cases and blaming you for not doing something correctly, because you're just learning. And again, the goal of this course is not to teach you the exact correct rule for everything, because again, the main course for manual testing takes 3 months in our school, right? So it's not that easy to learn to teach people just in one lesson how to do that correctly. So that's why we actually put people on the project, and we do several iterations. Those iterations that I showed you, like one requirements, task planning, execution, and bug reporting. So we do that multiple times. We have multiple sets of the requirements. So we cover one piece of the application in first sprint, we test it fully, then we go to the next cycle, next sprint, and actually test the another part of the application. Then we go to the third sprint and test another part. So people repeat that couple times like they do in the company, right? Every 2 weeks, you have a new cycle, new iteration, and you test new version of the application. So we do on the main course as well. So I won't be paying too much attention to this, but I want you to actually try to be as more close to ideal as possible, because this is basically what makes you a good candidate for the companies, right? Attention to details, trying to make your work ideal. That's what actually makes people great QA engineers. When you are perfectionist, right? When something is lying incorrectly, you want to correct it, right? This is what makes you good QA engineer. So you pay attention to details, to small gaps, to some small, tiny problems in the requirements, in the application. You pay attention to pixel difference between elements. That's what makes you great QA engineer, tester. Attention to details and trying to make your work perfect. So when you try to tell somebody like business analyst, hey, you missed something here, you missed something there, it looks ridiculous when you actually are not able to create your test cases in the same way, right? So basically, when you are able to pay attention to details in the requirements, you're able actually to create the good test cases. So I'm just hoping that you guys you will actually be able to do that. I won't be again paying too much attention to that, but just try to do as perfect as possible. So try to be granular and use full sentences. Describe not just copy and paste pieces of the requirements, but actually describe it fully, right? So text area, for example. So I described here, then the text area. Located in the top left section. Actually, I already described that, right? Top left section, so I don't have to. Consists of 3 lines. So I don't copy just this. I say the text area, and then I paste it, consists of 3 lines. Right? Here I just test the quantity of lines. I don't test any individual line, just the quantity. So I make sure that there are 3 lines. That's one thing. And then I say the first line is, and then I paste something. Here are. And then the second line, and the third line. That's basically what I do. Third line, right? And then you specify exactly X people. Actually, we will have to add another test case here. X. Also, what I want to do, X is matching the number of people in the table. This is one important thing to catch here. So X should be matching whatever we have in the table, right? This is it. That's why exactly X is matching the number of people in the table. Yeah. So this is how I describe these cases. And then you say the text is left aligned. Okay. So this is also the text is left aligned. Oh man. Right? Yeah. And you go one by one. But sometimes, you know, a business analyst is just a human and they don't think about how you will create test cases. So they may describe several requirements in one sentence. So your goal is to basically break it down to individual test cases and be as much granular as possible. So one requirement, like quantity of the lines, I don't take care about the lines. I just test the quantity. So I have a separate test case for that. Then I say, okay, the first line is this, second line is this, third line is this. And next is matching the number of people in the line, and then the text is left aligned. So that's pretty much it. So, and again, this will happen. This will happen once we complete the requirements. Once you read the requirements, provide me the feedback about the requirements. I fix them, and then after I fix them on Friday, I will post an update in the chat, in Slack chat. And again, please join the Slack chat, because this is another skill that you need to develop. How to use Slack, since most of the companies in IT, they use Slack as a team communication. So this is very important skill as well. Using Slack, know how to use it, how to reply in thread, how to use its different functionalities. That's another skill that you need to develop. And plus, this is a great communication tool to reach out to me, to ask me questions, to communicate with the group that you are taking course with right now. And that's basically that's it, guys. So that is what we need to achieve. Read the requirements, then provide me the feedback. Then I will fix it. And then on Friday, you'll be able to start creating your test cases. And all of that will be on the platform. So remember, once you join the platform, you will have the free course here. And here inside the free course, you will have the list of lessons. And the first lesson will be posted later today, or maybe it's better to say tonight, later tonight, because this recording, that I will stop the recording of this lesson, then it will be generated by Google, and then we will upload it, and then you will be able to watch it. If you want to remember something, you will be able to access slides that we have, and you will be able to accept the homework as well. And there are 2 slides explaining what to do with the requirements. And remember, we do this till Friday. And also the test planning. But we will do this after Friday, once I announce that the requirements are complete and you can actually proceed with the test case creation. Yeah, so that's pretty much it about today. Let me quickly go and show you how our main courses looks like. So this is what I was talking about, right? Why we actually give people coding, and why we want you to try that as well. Because usually what people learn, they go to courses, they take some courses, they learn only manual QA. But once you learn manual QA, you can work as manual QA only, and that's it. So it usually takes 3 months, the minimum amount of time that it takes for you to learn manual QA and just work on it may take longer, right? Because it's all about practice. What we do in Azure DevOps, we have the project that people work on, and that's since day one. And they basically just on the project, they learn how to do stuff, and they do several iterations. So they basically get the experience, and they just know what happens in the company. So when they look for the job, it's not just theoretical knowledge. They have a practical knowledge, then they know what they are talking about because they work on the project. But the problem is you don't have any coding skills. And let's say tomorrow you consider learning automation, or maybe you consider becoming software developer. You have to learn coding basics, or you take the automation course. But the automation course, complete automation course, will take at least 6 months, because you have to learn coding basics first. So it doesn't matter if they broke it down to separate courses or they have one course. It usually takes 6 months for you to learn test automation, because you have to learn how to code first to learn some coding language first, and then to learn the exact framework that you're going to use and the project that you're going to test, right? So we actually broke it down to two pieces. So what we say, hey, people, while you're learning manual QA, let's learn coding basics for free, right? So you learn coding, and that's what exactly we do on the free course as well. You learn coding. You try if this is something that you can do, right? You learn coding basics. And then by the end of the course, you have a pretty much great understanding if this is something that you like, something you understand, and maybe you are already ready for test automation. And whenever you complete the manual course, you can find the job, you can work there for some time. But whenever you decide to learn test automation, you don't have to start from scratch because you already have coding basics. So what you do is you learn the framework only because you already know how to code. You have the coding basics knowledge. So you just learn the framework, the exact tool that you're going to use, and you join the project. And that's the advantage of this approach. So you don't have to start from scratch after manual QA and take another 6 months. You just take automation course for 3 months only because you have the prerequisites. So for test automation, there are two prerequisites: manual, because you still have to know how to test, how to create test cases, and you have to know some coding. Those two prerequisites allow you to take the automation course. This is how the QA path looks like if you want to actually be automation engineer. If you want to be developer, basically you don't have to know manual. Maybe you take manual because in our school, everybody takes manual and coding together because there is no additional payment for that. But some people, by the end of the coding basics, they think that, oh, manual is boring. I don't want to learn manual testing. I want to be developer because I know coding better. I like it better. So they don't take, they go and take front-end development course, which again, only 3 months because you already have coding basics. And you learn the tool, which called React JS. This is the most popular front-end development framework. And again, this approach allows you to actually take this course, may work as a front-end developer for a year, for a couple of years, and then at some point you decide to learn mobile development or backend development. And again, since you have this knowledge, it's only 3 months for you. So that's basically what happens. This is how the main courses look like. And what we do after the free course, usually, a lot of people come from the free course, they come to the main course. So what we do, whoever will complete all the homeworks, and by all the homeworks, I mean 2 QA and 2 coding basics. You don't have to complete estimation, but if you complete 2 QA and 2 coding basics, we give the discount for those people, 50% off for the first month on the main course. So that's, if something that you consider, you have to know since today lesson because you will have to complete the homework, and I will be tracking that. So let me open. I had the document somewhere. Oh man. Yeah, over here. So usually whoever completes the homework, I put these people here and I track if they completed the homework, and whoever has those 4 done and join the free course, the main course, then we give those people the discount, 50% off the first month. Okay, that's it on my side. That's whatever I wanted to tell you about today. So tomorrow you will have coding basics. Till Friday, you try to complete and provide me feedback about the requirements. On Friday, I will announce in Slack chat, hey guys, the requirements are complete. Please start creating your test cases. And on Friday, you start preparing the test cases till Tuesday, next Tuesday. On the next Tuesday, we will have the next lesson where we actually will start test the application, start executing your test cases, and start reporting bugs in the system. That's what we're going to do next week. And you will have the next coding lesson next week as well. And the third week, we're going to have test automation lesson and then job market overview. That's about the free course. Questions? I heard that somebody raised the hand. Nadia, what is your question?
Yes.
When main course is started?
The main course will start on January 20th, something like that. So basically what is going to happen, we are going to have this course for the next 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we will have a 1 month break for the other students. They complete the main course, because basically what happens in our school, every 3 months there is a new course. So people who completed the manual, they move to the next course, to automation, right? So every 3 months that happens. So basically what we do, we give them a break between the courses. So and New Year break is 1 month. Usually it's 2 weeks, but the New Year break is 1 month. So we are going to finish this course by December 20th, something like that. And then there will be 4 weeks, not a month, but 4 weeks break. And then January 20th, something like that, the main course starts. So you still have plenty of time to celebrate and then to join the course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Any other questions, guys? Okay, and remember, if you have any questions anytime, you can ask them in Slack. So Slack is just, for example, just to give you an example. So here is my Slack. In Slack, you actually can switch between different organizations. So I have TechStart and I have my company, right? So basically, everything on the phone, somebody reaches out to me, I just open it. Okay, here's it, right? The message, somebody reaches out to me, right? So you get notifications, you can respond, and etc. So basically, that's why Slack is used by the companies, because it's very convenient. You have chats, the team chats, you have personal messages there, and that's why join Slack. Don't forget to join Slack, because you can have any questions there, you can have any answers. We have the notifications of their job, we post jobs, we post updates when somebody found the job. We have chats for interview questions, so people go to the interview, they post questions that they were asked about and how to answer them. So there's a lot of information. That's very big resource for you. So that's why. Okay, and there is actually basically the chat for the course. So other people, other students are there. So that's why you need to join there. And I will be posting announcements that, hey, the requirements are done also there, because that's the main chat. Okay. Any other questions? How can I join the class chat? Okay, let me share the screen again. So, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you register on the platform. Again, let me repost this. This is the platform. If you were not able to, you go and join the platform. Let me log out. You join the platform. If you don't have an account, you create one. So let's go directly to registration. That will be probably more convenient. So you go to registration. Registered already. Okay, good. So once you register, good to know that. Here you will see courses page that will lead you actually to your courses. And basically, you have one for now. And then also register in our Slack. So this link will lead you to the registration. As you can see at the bottom of the screen over here, it shows the invite, blah, blah, blah. So you click this. I already registered, so it actually will just redirect me inside Slack, right? Inside Slack. But for you, it should lead you to the registration in Slack. So you register in Slack, and basically then you will be able to join our organization. And you will see TechStart, you will see, okay, let me show you what you will see. So you will see basically TechStart, but not maybe all the chats, because a lot of chats are closed, as you can see, right? You just only can join them by invite. So you basically go to announcements. This is the chat everybody see, and then click free 10 course. Free 10, and then you will be button join or something like that. So you join this chat. As you can see, 64 people already here in this chat. So this is basically how you join. And if you guys have any questions, so on the platform, once you register on the platform, in case if you're not able to join Slack, once you have a lesson over here, you will have the link to the presentation. At the end, you see the phone number. Oh man, the phone number, you can text me this phone number, or you can send me an email to this email. They are connected to my phone, so I will see message email, I will see the message to short message SMS. So whenever just you have questions, you're not able to join Slack, just send me a message there, I will help you. No problem with that. But once you join Slack, this is the main communication channel. Every questions are here. Got it? Okay. Okay, what is the price? Yeah, Tina already answered. $5.99 per month. Yeah, and remember, if you complete all the homeworks, it will be only $2.99 per first month. Just so basically, why we started this course? Because previously we used to work in other schools. So all of us, Stan, me, Sergey, we used to work in other schools, and I actually was one of the founders of one of the famous schools. And the problem we had, there were two problems. The problem was, number one was a lot of people were coming without understanding what the profession is. So they were just paying money. And usually schools, they actually don't give you the monthly payment. You pay for the course. So you pay a couple $1,000, and after a couple of weeks, you realize that it's not yours, and you just leave, and you lose money. So that's one problem. So you have to learn in advance if you like it or not, and pay only once you understand. So that's one thing that we're trying to solve by this free course. And another thing is, a lot of people, even with paying money, they pay for the course, but they are not motivated. They don't complete homework. They demotivate other people, other students. And sometimes there are a lot of people on the course, like 100 people on the course. You cannot give as much attention as you want as a teacher to all of them. And all of them are paying money. So the school is good, feeling good, because they make money. They have a lot of money. They have 100 people on the course. But 90% of them, like 10 people are active, 90% are 90 other people are not active. They are not completing homework. They just, sometimes not attending lessons. They just watching videos, and that's it. And another problem, they demotivate others. So what we try to do, why we give the discount for the first month, we try to catch those people who are really interested, who actually will complete the homework, who will actually do the job that we want them to do. And those are the most motivated people. And they basically, those are the people who are really interested in the profession. And those are basically the people who usually join the course. So we additionally motivate them. Hey, here's the discount for you for your great job. So those are two problems we try to solve. One problem, free course is for people to understand if they like the profession or not. If you don't like, you don't have to pay money. You don't take the course, right? And if you like the course, if you really want to learn the profession, and if you really want to get the job in tech industry, then you take the course and you have the additional discount because you did a great job. You completed the homeworks. Of course, there is still an ability to join the course without paying like the discount. You can pay full price for the first month. But I mean, those people who are the most motivated people on the course, we motivate them. When is the submission due? The next lesson. Actually, in general, if people send me the homework by this, some people, they join the course later. So for example, we will end this course, and there will be 1 month break till the main course. So some people, they know about the free course later when it's ended. So what they do, they watch the lessons in the recordings, and then they complete the homework later, which works fine. I don't care if you watch the lesson as the recording and then you complete the homework and then you submit the homework, that's okay. Ideally, if you attend the course right now, the submission date for you the next lesson. So what we try to do, basically, by Friday you work on the requirements, and from Friday till Tuesday you work on the test cases. So by Tuesday I have something to check. I can actually take a look at your test cases and provide you the feedback, right? And we can go with the bug reporting. So that's the ideal. So the Tuesday is the submission due date. But if you were not able to complete and you still want to get a discount, you will still have the time. But ideally, if you want me to provide you the feedback about your test cases, it's the next Tuesday. Why monthly payment, not course-wise? Because some people, still happen. Some people just in 1 month they realize that they don't want to continue, even because you are taking the free course. Some people will miss it. Some people will come in January and they will want to join the course. So they will pay for the first month. They will not have the free course. They will pay for the first month, and then they will realize that this is not something they want to do. And they have an ability to leave. They just paid for the first month, right? And they have an ability to leave and not pay for the rest. So it's good for you, right? And another thing that is good for us, it doesn't mean that you join the course and you will be doing nothing. If by the first month we realize that you do nothing, you don't complete homeworks, you don't come to the lesson, we will remove you from the course. We are not looking for the money. We're looking for good people, right, to give the education to. So what we basically do, it's like a win-win situation. We have small groups, so we don't have to spend too much time for the people who are not interested in the industry, in the profession, and we give more time to people who are the most motivated. So if people not completing the homeworks, not coming to the lessons, we actually are removing them from the course, and they don't have any problems with us because they didn't pay for the next months, right? So after the first month, we see if somebody is lazy, we just remove them from the course, and there is no problems. They don't pay for the next month, so there is no problem why we remove them. And for us, there is no problem because there is no person who demotivate others. Is there any job opportunities provided? No, we don't provide any job opportunities. But what I can guarantee, if you come to all lessons, if you ask questions until you have full understanding of the topic today, let's say you came to the lesson today, right? And you have some questions because something is unclear, you have to ask them. Just ask them, just make me feel exhausted, because this is what you pay for. You pay for my time and for you to get full understanding. So basically what students have to do, come to lessons, ask questions until they get full understanding of the topic, and complete homeworks. That's it. So those three things you do, I guarantee by the 3 months you will have so much knowledge. So every company will want to hire you. That's what happens. So don't worry about that. Basically, usually job opportunities, they come anyways, because some students, we have huge community already, right? We have some former students that already work as leads, as automation engineers, as software developers. And sometimes there are opportunities in their companies. So the first place they come to is us. They usually come, hey, there is an opening in our company. Can you send us like couple resumes? And we send people there. Should be 4 openings in my company after New Year. So let's say I will be hiring people, and the first people that I will be suggesting is my people from my group, right? And same happens to Stan. Same happens to Sergey. So I have so many students that working, for example, with Stan. There are a couple of my former students working with Stan at Apple right now, right? Because there are so many people completing the courses, then looking for jobs, then they have openings, then they invite other people. So I have one course people working with the other course people, right? They create at different time. That's how it works. We don't take you, and bring you to the specific job, but we give you more than enough knowledge to get a job. And again, Slack is our community. All our students in Slack. So if there is any job opening, people post them in Slack, right? And we have those communities, those people, those former students, everybody's in Slack. So there are people from the old super long courses that graduated like a couple of years ago, and you can still find them. They will be posting some funny pictures there, and yeah. Yes, Nadia, another question.
Yes. On the main course, we have just practice or theory and practice.
Theory and practice as well. It's more like practice, of course, focused. So what we do is basically we put you on the project, but we have the presentation as well. So usually when we start the lesson, there is a new topic. I give the presentation for the first maybe 30 minutes, an hour, depends on the length of the presentation. And then we switch the project, and okay, let's do this on the project, right? And we do that. So the next, so this is usually the first iteration. There is mix of theory, presentations, plus project work. Because basically we work on the project, but I have to prepare people what to do on the project. Then the second iteration, what they do, they already know what to do one by one. So they actually do that again. But in parallel, we have another topics like resume creation. So project-wise, they still do the project work. We have the third iteration. They do that again, requirements, task planning, but they already know how to do that. So they do it again, but in parallel, we have another topics. Like we learn API testing, we learn automation a little bit, like even on manual course. So because we have a project, so basically we have an ability not to create automation, but to be able to run it. Like you have that ability in the company. So you have everything in one place. And even if you're a manual person, often you have an access to automation just to click the button, run it, and see the result, whether it passed or failed. So we learn that as well. We learn how to actually copy the development code, make some small changes, build it locally, run it locally, right? So all of that is also like going in parallel. So there's a project work and a lot of like bunch of theoretical stuff as well happening. So yes, there's a lot of things, and that's why it takes 3 months, not 3 weeks, right? Okay, any other questions? You're welcome. I like when people asking questions. Yes, Alex.
Yes, is there a certificate we get after the 3-month course?
Yeah, we can give you the certificate. Nobody will take a look at that, but
Okay.
yeah, we can.
Just
if you want.
thank you. No worries.
Yeah, basically, yeah. One thing to understand right now, there is a trend. Nobody cares about your education. So even if you are after the high school, you will still be able to get a job. So you can still see some requirements in the job description, but you still apply for it. Because just to give you an example, previously people wanted at least a bachelor degree in computer science for any IT job, even QA. But historically, QAs were never people after the university. All the QAs, QA engineers, people from different industries. That's how what has historically happened. So there is no requirement even for developers right now. So a lot of developers, they just took the courses, just some boot camps, and they became developers. You didn't have to spend 4 years, 5 years in the university to become a developer. If you are going to be some, senior executive, some management level, then yes, there will be some requirements for that. But if you are applying for testing job or for automation job or for software development job, nobody cares right now about your education and about your certificates. You go to the interview, they will give you tasks, and if you complete them and you prove that you can do the job, you will be hired. If you cannot prove that you can get a job, you do the job, you will be not hired. That's easy. There is no such thing like somebody comes with the master's degree and get a job because of the diploma, and you come, a genius, can do the job, do everything, but without diploma, nobody hires you. That's not the case. You prove that you can do the job, you will be hired. For example, on my previous job, my boss asked me to actually rewrite the job descriptions for the engineers. I just removed all the requirements for the education level, and he asked me, "Hey, you removed the education requirements. Why is that?" And I asked him, "Hey, do you really care if tomorrow, like, high school graduate comes and without any experience, but the genius person who can do the job, super motivated, like, will you reject that person?" And he said, "No, of course not." And that's why you don't have to right now. And that's the trend in IT in general, because a lot of CEO of the big companies like Zuckerberg, like Bezos, like Bill Gates, they didn't graduate from the colleges. They left colleges, they left universities just to start the business. And there is a trend, like, you don't have to have the any level of education to get a job. If you can do the job, you will be hired. If you cannot do the job, you won't be hired. That's as simple. And right now, I just read an article that some of the Elon Musk diplomas are fake, and actually he didn't have the education as well, seems like. So basically nobody cares. And even Elon Musk said recently that if Nikola Tesla would be applying for the Tesla job, he would probably will be rejected because we had some requirements about the education there. So we are going to cancel that as well, right? So there is a trend in IT that nobody cares about your education. Certificates. You just come to the interview, you prove your ability to do the job, and you will be hired. For example, I had an interview today. I'm going to have 2 interviews tomorrow. We never ask candidates about their level of education. I just take the resume, I read what skills they have, what they do on the current job. If their skills are matching with what we want, we invite them to the interview. Then they come, we just ask them questions, we give them some tasks to solve. If they are able to solve them, we like them as a personality. That's it. You have a job offer. That's how it's simple is. Okay, Dmitro, do you have any question?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you select people for hiring, for example, after pre-screen? Because I'm QA with almost 4 years experience.
Uh-huh.
I came from Ukraine to use like 1 month ago, and I didn't go like after pre-screen. I didn't have even one tech interview still. How does it work here?
Basically, it's hard to say because usually pre-screening is done usually by HRs or recruiters, right? So it's not something done is by hiring managers. Because what I usually do, I get the list of resumes from my HR, and then I just overview them and invite people. But I just, I invite people based on their skills. If they have skills in their resume that I want, like for manual, it will be manual, basically. For automation, it will be specific languages and specific frameworks. And that's pretty much it. So that's what I do. But what HRs do and what recruiters do, it's very hard to say. But yeah, maybe you have some problems with the resume. Maybe you need to update your experience to match the American experience. Maybe you have to format your resume differently, because what happens, usually people come from different countries. They have the resumes with pictures, with some standards that not are used here in the United States, right? So for example, there are no pictures, there are no photos used in the United States. You didn't provide your age, for example, right? And etc. So maybe it's not matching just the standards, your resume, and etc. So it depends, right? Maybe you're lacking some soft skills that are required in the United States. I don't know. It's very hard to say. That's why, yeah, and people are asking in the chat if you prepare for the interview and resume. Yes, we do that. So actually, basically, approximately in the middle of the course, what we do, and answering your questions, Dmitro, as well, what we do, we actually start preparing the resume. So basically, after the first iteration, we start the next iteration, and we slowly start creating your resume. We have specific rules for the resume, specific templates, specific companies that we use for the resume, and etc. And also, we prepare for once we have the resume, we start doing every single lesson. We start doing mock interviews, interview preparation, every single lesson, like at least 2 people per lesson, because we have that process rolling. People know what to do in sprints, project-wise, and we can spend time working on the interview preparation. So yeah, basically the second part of the course is mostly aimed at the resume interview preparation. And Dmitro, same thing for you. We have to check your resume. We have to see what you have. We have to see what you know, and etc. So that's basically what we need to do. And what can happen? Anything. Sometimes ridiculous things happens. For example, recently I had this similar situation that you have. So people with experience in their countries, they came here, and recruiters say, hey, you didn't have enough experience in the United States. And I'm like, what? Who said that to you? Because right now, the experience is not different in other countries. Like, mostly everybody works for American companies with just offices around the world, and some people, for example, I used to work in the company back in Ukraine. It's called Astound Commerce. It's an American company, but with the offices around the world. And they work for the project that I'm currently working on right now. So the company I work here is platformally.com. So they used to work for it a long time ago. We had that project, and right now I'm here working for the same company, but directly for them. So actually, the experience is not different. It's all the same. So I had no problems. It took several months for me though. I started looking for the job in the United States in December, and I found the job actually in March, because it will be slowness actually right now around the new year, and it will be actually be better in January. You'll start actually warming up in the end of January. People will start coming from the vacation, start working, calling you back, and etc. So it take some time. That can be the problem. And another problem, some rude recruiters. Sometimes you have to trick. You have to have some tricks in your resume, just maybe say that you worked for American company but remotely.
Actually, sorry. Actually, I put it in my CV, and it's real like projects. We worked as offshore team for American projects, so it's like kind of official. So.
Then just I would probably I would do just the first step.
I have sorry, and I have like recommendations from my American managers. But
Then that should be that should be fully enough. What I would do as a first step, I would actually just say that you work. I wouldn't even mention the location. If that's American company, I would just mention one of the locations here, because it doesn't matter. Nobody, if you have the recommendation from your manager here in the United States, that's what you want. They will ask for recommendations from your manager. You will send that manager phone number or email, and they will ask, and that manager will confirm that you work for this company, etc. So you can simply don't mention the location that you work from, the Ukraine offshore team, etc. Just mention company, location is here in the United States. That's what I did. So my company is located in San Bruno, but I worked in Ukraine, right? So what I mentioned this position, this company, years, and location San Bruno, because my company located in San Bruno. If they Google the company, it will show them San Bruno, right? So basically, that's what you can do. So your resume looks like you worked here for a couple of years. And then if they ask you later, you can explain them. But that's your goal, is to get to the interview, right? Because during the interview, believe me, nobody will reject you based on that. It just, sometimes it just recruiters or HRs, sometimes the people are afraid of some visa problems or something like that, and they just reject you. But that is not done by engineers. That is usually done by recruiters or HRs. So your goal is to pass that. So what I would suggest you, say that you worked in America in your resume. Don't mention location, offshore team, and blah, 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 something like that. Just mention the location of your company here. And that's the first step. And then see what happens, if that helps you. If not, we'll try something else.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, and join Slack. You will be able to ask questions. Even, again, guys, if you join Slack, it doesn't mean that you have to join the course. Slack is for everybody. If you can join the Slack and just sit there forever and do nothing, right? Just listen to people talking, discussing. So same for you, Dmitro. If you want, just join Slack. There are people discussing different stuff. Sometimes you can ask other people about some, you can ask in the chat what happens with your resume, the result. Some people, other students with the same situation, they can suggest you something, etc. That's a big community, so just join it and be there. Okay, interview preparation, video and homework. Hakim, we will post the video and the homework as soon as possible. So basically, it depends on Google. So it's actually 2 hours recording already, because it's 9 p.m. for me. We started at 7, so actually it's already 2 hours. So actually, will be pretty big video. So it takes for Google to generate it, then it will appear, and then we will upload it. So basically, in 1 hour, maybe in 2 hours, it should be available. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay, seems like that's it. So I'm inviting you. Okay, thank you. No problem, Hakim. So tomorrow is the JavaScript lesson. Same link. So you join the same link, but the another teacher will be here. It will be Stan, and he will teach you some coding basics. It will be 2 lessons tomorrow and the next week. You will also have probably some homework with him. And the 3rd week, that should prepare you for the test estimation on the 3rd week. That's the plan. Dmitro, do you still have a question?
No, I don't have. Thank you.
Okay, good then. Then thank you for joining. It was happy to help you, happy to teach you a little bit of QA. Hope to see you next week. No problem, guys. I'm here to help. And we believe in our mission, right? To actually provide these free courses. And actually, basically, that's the idea. Usually when people ask me how to find what is the best course, of course, I tell them that my course is the best. But I mean, like I tell everybody, hey, you have to go to different courses, different free courses, try out lessons, stuff like that, and try. Meet other teachers, different approaches. And if you like somebody else the most, you have to go with that course, because this is not something that somebody has to decide for you, because usually people suggest the courses they took. And since they took one single course, they didn't know other courses, and they make a decision for you. So our idea is everybody has to take different free courses, try, and they choose the course and the school, teachers, group, other students they like. So that's the idea. So I'm here for you. This is what we do every 3 months, just a regular thing for me. And yeah, so thank you for joining. Thank you for being so awesome, for asking questions. And yeah, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Arthur.
Bye-bye. No
Amen.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.